Hey.
Hey.
Something new for you guys today. This is our inaugural mail time.
Oh, mail time. This is so awesome. We have a viewer from Virginia. His name is Joseph, and he was so kind to send me something. So I thought I'd open it here on this episode.
Where is it?
I don't know. He actually emailed me and told me what he was sending. So it's a pastry scraper. It's really nice. It's got the measurements at the bottom. And he sent this to me because he was concerned about the way I was picking up my onions, my chopped onions with my knife and tossing them into the pot. And he thought by sending me one of these, I could scoop it up safely and get it into the pot. So I greatly appreciate that. Thanks, Joseph. If you're looking for the written recipe, those are available to my patrons on Patreon, and you can check out the link in the description below. So let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Flo, Dude is behind the camera, and we are making a creamy chicken tortilla soup today.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Starting off with about 2 pounds of boneless chicken thighs. I've already started heating up my Instant Pot on saute. Okay, while I'm waiting for my pot to heat up, I'm just going to season my chicken with some salt. One of the things we miss most about living in the Bay Area is the Mexican restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
And one of my favorite soups down there was the chicken tortilla soup. Now, depending on where you go, most of the chicken tortilla soups are made with chicken and corn and beans and a bunch of vegetables in a hearty soup. But what I'm going for today is a creamy base soup, but with bits of chicken and corn that will be put in after I cream the soup, which is a little bit different. But I love how the flavors just kind of blend together, and that's just what I am going for today. And as always, every time you make a meal at home, it's cheaper than eating out.
Here, here.
Yeah. I'm using about just over a pound of chicken, and there are about 8 or 9 thighs in here. And I got them on sale. They were $6.99 a pound. So I paid about $8 to $9 for it, so it's just over a pound. Okay, now that the pot is hot, I'm putting about a tablespoon of olive oil. Okay, maybe a little bit more than a tablespoon. That was a glug, glug, glug. Right, I'm gonna have to do this in a couple of batches. While they're cooking on that side, the salted side, I'm gonna salt this side as well. And we're gonna cook them about 3 minutes per side. So sometimes it gets kind of sticky at the bottom. If the pot isn't like totally hot enough, then the food might stick to the bottom. So it was a little bit sticky, but it's okay. Okay, while I'm waiting for the chicken to cook, I'm gonna dice up my onion. I'm just using a whole medium-sized onion. Okay, we're gonna use about 6 cloves of garlic, removing the skin. Do you ever see this green part that's growing? One, you can either plant it, you'll have garlic. If you plant it in the fall, you'll have garlic in the spring, I believe. But my mother-in-law says I should remove it because it's actually bitter. I'll do that. I'm just gonna roughly chop this up. The chicken is done. Gonna remove them, and then we're gonna add our onion. And you know, the reason why we brown our chicken in here is because I want the flavor. The flavors of all these brown bits in the bottom of the pot will add to the flavor of your soup. All right, scraper is going to come in handy. Adding the onions in, and that will help to deglaze the brown bits from the bottom of your pot. I have to say, this is quite handy, Joseph. So if you check in the pot now, see all the brown bits that were kind of at the bottom of the pot pretty much gone just by adding the onions. That's pretty cool, right?
Oh, the scraper's coming into good use
I
here.
know, look at that.
In one fell swoop.
And I don't have to worry about cutting myself with the knife.
Well, you still could some way, somehow.
Once the garlic is fragrant, you just want to cook it for 30 seconds or so, and then we're going to turn off the heat. So I have this can of chipotle peppers. Did I say that right?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it should sound like chipotle.
So I'm just going to add a few of these. That one looks really small. Right, so how about like
Yeah, sure.
2-ish?
Yeah.
I'm going to chop that up. By the way, the chopsticks I'm using here are not the same chopsticks I used for the raw chicken. Just saying. Just going to chop this up. And I don't know if chipotle peppers are really hot or not. I'm assuming they are, somewhat.
Well,
which is why I'm only putting just a couple in.
why don't you try one?
No, thank you. Do you want to try one?
Okay. It's like a
Sweet smoky.
sweet, smoky, no hotter than a jalapeno.
Okay, so this is going in. I think that's enough.
Yeah, sweet and smoky. And it makes you want to say chipotle.
Okay, to add even more smokiness, I am using these fire roasted tomatoes, diced. If you can't find them, you can just use regular tomatoes. It should be fine. It just adds, again, another layer of flavor. So I've got 2 cans of this. I'm also using a can of mild green chilies.
A lot of Southwest flavors here.
And then I'll add my chicken broth. I'm using 2 packs of chicken broth, so that's about 8 cups. We're using 2 teaspoons of oregano, 3 teaspoons of chili powder. So that's a tablespoon. I have about half a bunch of cilantro here. I'm going to put most of it in the pot. Whoops. And I'm going to save a little bit for garnish at the end. I'll scrape most of it in. Save that for garnish. Whatever didn't stay on the scraper. How about that? And one last thing I forgot to bring out. Corn.
Oh, that's pretty important.
I'm using about 2 cups of frozen corn here. 1, 2, and we're going to add some more corn at the end so that you have a little bite. It already smells so yummy. All right, just gave that a quick stir. All right, locking the lid into place, making sure the sealing knob is on sealing. And we're just going to cook this for 10 minutes on high pressure. And that's it. While we're waiting for the soup to cook, I'm going to chop up my chicken and we're just going to cube it into smaller bite-sized pieces. It cooked for 10 minutes. It probably took about 20 minutes to come up to pressure because the pot was so full, and we sort of slowly quick released it. So what I do is I stick a wooden spoon through here and I kind of lift it up so that just kind of slowly quick releases. It doesn't, like, just in case the pot was a bit too full and it started to splatter. And oh my goodness, that looks delicious. It smells so good. I wish you guys could smell it. So this is what we're going to blend up. So I have my KitchenAid hand blender.
Do I need to stand like way back here, dude?
No. If you don't have a hand blender, you can always scoop the soup into a Vitamix or a stand-up blender and blend it there. Or if you don't even want to, you can just eat it the way it is. You don't have to blend it, but I wanted to blend it, so that's what we're doing here. Cancel. Saute back on. We're going to bring it back up to simmer. so that we can heat through our chicken and corn, and I'm gonna add some whipping cream as well. Okay, it's just starting to simmer now, so I'm gonna add another cup of frozen corn and all the chicken that I diced up earlier. I'm gonna put that in as well. Adding 1 cup of whipping cream or heavy cream. Right, we're just gonna heat that through. You don't want it to come up to a boiling, you just want it to, as soon as you start to see it simmer, that's when we're done. Just when you start to see it moving a little bit and you can hear it starting to simmer, let's turn it off. Let's put in some salt. I always forget to salt my food. But you know what? Salt you can always add in the end, right?
You can't take away.
You can't take it away. So I'm going to put in about 2 teaspoons of salt. Okay, adding some Monterey Jack cheese. A couple pieces of avocado. You know what? Avocado is so expensive up here. This avocado cost me $2.29. Like, that to me is a lot for an avocado. A little bit of cilantro and some tortillas, just crumpled. Are you ready for
The taste.
Don't forget to add the lime.
Oh yeah. Okay. It's a little squeeze. Let's see if this delivers.
Drip, 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 drip.
It's okay. It's okay. But you know, some of those limes you get down south are like just incredibly deceiving. They look really dry, and you start squeezing, and you just keep on going. It's like, wow, I just delivered a whole glass full. I'm exaggerating. I think one of the cuisines that, if I had to choose amongst, like, you know, top 5, I couldn't have anything else. Mexican and Southwest flavors are definitely in that list. Definitely those deep flavors between the chipotle and the roasted peppers or roasted tomatoes?
Roasted tomatoes.
Oh, roasted tomatoes. And I like it blended, and because it has that smooth texture through there, but you still get a little bit of the hint of the ingredients that were there. So it's not completely pureed to the point where it's, you know, so smooth. And I like that. I like a bit of more of that, what is that, the rustic type of texture to it. Chicken is tender without waterlogging the tortillas. It has a little bit of a crunch when you bite into it. Fantastic.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, it got some gooey cheese, Monterey Jack going on here.
Awesome, dude. Thank you. You have something more to say?
You got to do it.
Awesome. Thanks, dude. All right, as per usual, whatever you make at home is going to be less expensive than eating out. If you don't already, please subscribe to my channel below here, check out my recipe book here, and other videos over there. Till next time, be simple, ordinary, and joyful.